Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the internet. Welcome to my channel. It's me, Odio, and I'm here today to review War Machine for you. It's a Netflix movie, just came out recently, starring Alan Ritchson as the titular character. Let's get into it here. So, like, War Machine is the kind of movie that I'm always down for. A whole bunch of soldiers going on some kind of mission, aliens or robots or some sort of overwhelming force they have to deal with. Like, right on, man. I'm not too picky about the dialogue and shit like that. As long as we got ourselves a good old action movie.
Let's go!
Also, it's always nice to see Alan Ritchson starring in something. He was in Ungentlemanly Warfare, and he obviously does a great job as Reacher, but this one's more of a vehicle for him and his big, strong, plotting personality that he brings to the screen. So in War Machine, we start off with these, there's like this army soldiers, looks like they're fighting the Taliban or something that it says in the movie, and one of them is having an issue with the convoy. And then, hey, Alan Ritchson, Reacher shows up himself. He's number 81 in this. He gets his name later on, but he shows up to see his brother at the convoy. They try to get things fixed. There's this whole big attack, and everybody dies, and basically, Alan Ritchson picks up his brother and walks 10 miles to the base and is given a silver star, which they bring up in the movie, and that's kind of how it opens. But with the death of his brother gone on, he's on his own now. And he's got a huge injury in his knee from the explosion and the attack. He had like shrapnel stuck in there. So he's got a messed up knee. But him and his brother were going to become Army Rangers. Yeah, they were going to be the best of the best, first to the fight and all that. So with his brother gone, he feels like he has to do it. He has to complete the legacy.
Never give up. Never surrender.
And honestly, that's most of the setup. He just tries to become an Army Ranger. They mention he's pretty close to the age limit, but still under. And he comes off as very stoic in this. He doesn't say a whole lot. He's very serious. And they're just like, well, okay, you're in. He's grunts. And they're just like, we're going to make you one of the commanders. He's like, no. He doesn't want to be a commander. I think because of what happened, I think he's kind of out of that type of game. But he gets his chance, and he's going to enter into the program to become a ranger. And in like a lot of old Army movies, like, you get to see the old ROTC, or you get to see the Army training in the base and all the stuff they do and shit like that. Pretty cool. I love that kind of stuff. Seeing them all like working out together, training together, learning to work as one, cooperative kill unit in combat. Super dope. And Alan Ritchson comes off as like a beast. He's older than a lot of them, but he's insanely dedicated. Taking painkillers at night for his knee and everything just to keep going. He has to keep up with all the young guys. He doesn't want to get sent home, right? So, and he works really hard. And there's some events and things that happen that sort of build his character at the beginning, but he doesn't give up. He doesn't quit. And of course, eventually, they're going to go to, a field operation.
Get to the chopper!
It's on that field operation, the whole training mission. Like, we're going to drop you off. You're going to have to like rescue a citizen and this and that. But we, the viewer, we actually get to see what happens. And this is, a lot of people are comparing it to Predator. I do kind of get that because, you see a ship flying around in the sky. It gets mentioned a couple times. Then you see it fly down and slam into the ground. So we have, just like Predator, we have an alien ship crashing with one being on it, apparently, is what it looks like here. We don't know that. So the squad goes out. They have guns that don't all have bullets in them and stuff, which is pretty funny because they're definitely going to need those.
It's over. We are screwed.
But anyways, in their training exercise, you're supposed to find like a downed ship, get it repaired, or like do whatever, blow it up, actually. Sorry, not repair, blow it up. And then they're supposed to go to the village. So they see the downed alien spacecraft. And I guess because they're idiots or something, I don't know. They're like, yeah, that must be the ship. And they go over like C4 and shit to blow it up. I was like, I don't think that's the ship. It's like looks like this black, sleek, almost onyx obelisk type of metal there. Kind of reminded me of, I'm not going to say the the black thing from 2001, but just that kind of metal.
All right, then, keep your secrets.
And my friends, therein lies where the story takes place. Once this robot gets exploded or whatever, it gets up. And it's a giant mech sort of, I guess, alien? My first thought was that it looked like a mech from like Battletech, like a Thor mech or a Mauler mech without the missile racks or something. It was kind of squat and square. It seemed to have like a feel like I almost got like I think it's the little infiltrator mechs from Battletech. Either way, it looked like a giant mech robot. I wasn't sure if there was a pilot in it or not, or if it was like a self-driving thing, or maybe this is some sort of robot alien species from another galaxy. Who knows? Definitely not these soldiers.
Would you like to know more?
So anyway, once they get going, they shoot the C4, whatever, at the downed plane. The downed plane transforms like a transformer into a robot, and I was like, okay, holy shit, it's a giant murder bot. And right away, it scans everybody, and holy man, I gotta say, this movie is rated R. Jesus, the deaths are they're fucking crazy. Like we get a head blown off at one point, people just getting evaporated, torn apart, stamped on. It chases them at one point. They all fall off a cliff. Like, holy cow. And through it all, Alan Richardson's 81 is still stoic, still serious. He's the only one there who I think has a lot of military combat. But they have their own de facto leader, which is number 7. He's the guy that kind of speaks, gets them to move and do whatever. And I'll get to him in a minute. But like I said, once the adventure starts and they all they fight the robot, it chases them, they all fall down the cliff. It's pretty much cat and mouse for the rest of the movie. I mean, I know the people comparing it to Predator. It felt more like Terminator. Like, in Terminator, like no matter where Reese and them go, they can't get away. It's slow and plodding, but it has no other goal than hunting and killing them. This one gives me that impression, much bigger, but even when they run or like try to escape or go through the river, it slowly and methodically is always behind them, chasing them. Creates some decent tension. And although I liked a lot of the movie, some of the some of the dialogue left a bit to be desired, and some of the guys in it were just honestly straight morons. But one thing I do have to bring up, number 7, who like breaks his back or whatever, falling down the hill at the beginning. You would assume in a movie with like 30 soldiers who are all going to get murdered by this robot that, broken back, this guy's done for. They create a stretcher for him, and I'm like, oh yeah, this ain't going to last long. Well, you would think to yourself, stretcher, battle zone robot, he's dead, right? There's no way he's going to survive. Well, let me tell you, it ain't that hard for him.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
It's really the only part of the movie I found to be exceptionally dumb. He's on a stretcher. They're being chased by a robot. At one point, they have to cross the river. No problem. They'll just zip line him across. Oh, but Odio, what if he falls in the river? Don't worry about that. Who gives a shit if he can't get his arms and legs out? He'll just fall in the river and he'll somehow stay face up the entire time. Well, that doesn't make sense. Well, you know what makes less sense? Falling off a waterfall on a gurney without being able to move your arms. Not only he lives, he makes it all the way down through the waterfall. Like Reacher is like carrying him at one part there up through the. I was like, this is stupid. They even have him in an APC at one point. They're driving, getting shot. Soldiers are being killed everywhere. Not the stretcher guy. He even manages to fall out of a flying APC going down the road as fast as it can go, hits the dirt and whatever like that. Robots come, crushing, killing. Not a problem. Barely an inconvenience.
It was super easy, barely an inconvenience.
Number 7 has plot armor thicker than all the armor on the giant robot alien monster that's trying to kill them. It is ridiculous, but whatever. That's the only thing that really takes away, like I said, in some of the bad ideas that you get in there. But Alan Richardson is the star here. His stoic hero, number 81. You do end up rooting for him. You see how much harder he has to work than everybody else. You see he's never going to give up. He makes it a point at the beginning saying, I'm going to pass that finish line for the Ranger. He's it's sort of like it keeps drawing back to his brother, carrying him the 10 miles or whatever like that. But overall, I mean, it's a pretty decent action movie. I mean, a lot of people, it's going to get comparisons up to Yin Yang, to Predator, Terminator, and a million other generic action movies. It's a pretty standard basic story. There's not a whole lot of twists and turns. You know what you're getting. And I'm not going to lie, I was a pretty big fan of it. I don't always want my expectations and shit subverted. Sometimes I just want to watch a good action movie with an alien robot coming to kill a bunch of, fully grown soldiers who are going to adapt to the situation, do what they can to overcome it, and eventually win. It's like I said, the difference between predictability and comfortability. This is a very comfortable movie. If you like action movies, you like Alan Richardson, you want to see him get a vehicle to act in, it's pretty good. It does a decent job for what it is. It's a great popcorn flick. If you're looking for something to chill out, watch on the weekend with a big bowl of popcorn and some drinks, I mean, it's a winner. You'll have a good time. You're not going to be overly surprised by anything in the movie. I will say the ending was good. They definitely, they should have shortened the ending. They dragged it a little bit much. They actually had number 81. They had his character give a speech kind of at one point, which I don't really think fit his character's profile and stuff. But overall, it's a pretty decent action flick. I want to give this one a 7.5 out of 10 on the Atometer. Good action, interesting story, pretty cool robot, but some stupid decisions and dumb dialogue. And the stretcher, the stretcher is just, it's doing a lot of heavy lifting to bring the score down, because every scene I see with that stretcher is like, come on, man, just shoot the guy. I don't want to watch this no more. But overall, a pretty good time. And I appreciate some action movies coming out. They've been sort of in short supply, the ones that I've really been liking for a while with original ideas. And I know it's a bit derivative, but it is its own alien, it is its own heroes, and it's got its own story, and it is open for a sequel. Maybe we'll get some more. But overall, not a bad time. It's an easy recommend. You can watch this movie on the weekend, have a good time. But thanks so much for watching this far, guys. Really appreciate that. Please like, share, subscribe to the video, and remember, everybody, stay out of trouble.